For thou hast said in thine heart, I will send into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. Okay, so he's going to exalt his kingdom above the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, he's going to take down the 12 tribes of Israel, take their heritage, and say, look, now I'm the Israelites. Okay, now you're all beneath me. Okay, so it says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, and I'll sit upon the throne, upon the mount of the congregations in the sides of the north. Okay, right? I'll ascend into the heights, and I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I'll be like unto the Most High. Okay, right? Yet thou shalt be brought down, right, into this. Thou shalt be brought down to hell. Okay, and this is where people go crazy, because here it is within the Here it is, and they actually believe that this is talking about the spiritual demon Satan, right? But here's how stupid this is, right? Here's how stupid this is. All you need, right, is to be able to read, okay? Read and put stuff together, okay? Right? So you have two words used here that are exactly the same word, okay? When you read the Hebrew, okay? So the scripture says here within the the scripture says this within the 11th verse, it says that pomp is brought down to the ground and to the grave. Okay, so your pride is brought down to the grave. Okay, right, and it actually says the grave. And then within the 13th verse, it says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I'll ascend into heaven, and I'll exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, and I'll sit upon on the mount of the congregation on the sides of the north. Sorry, let me go to it. And then it says within the 15th verse, furthermore, okay, yet shall thou be brought down to hell. Wait, hold on a minute. Okay, thank you. Lord's will, he does. Okay, so it says this in the night. Let's read that again. So it says, 11th verse. Okay, your pride is going to be brought down to the grave. Okay, and then within the 15th verse, it says, you shall be brought down to hell. Okay, now when you look at both words in the Hebrew, it's grave. Okay, your bride shall be brought down to the grave, and then it says you shall be brought down to the grave. It's the same thing. It ain't talking about the spiritual demon Satan being brought down from where he's gonna fall out the sky and then he's gonna be put into hell. It says Esau's gonna be brought down to the grave. He's gonna be put down into the lower. It's basic, man. It's just basic. Okay, so now that we've got the understanding of that, Isaiah 14:14, it says, I'll ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And we just got the understanding of that, because he shall be brought down to the grave. So is it the grave or is it hell? Well, we know through much reading, okay, and much lessons that we watched from the elders, that it's talking about the grave, because the word there, both instances in both the 11th verse, right, and the 15th verse, that is talking about the word there is sha'al, which means the grave. Okay, right. So he's gonna be put to death. So you can understand his power structure, all of that is gonna be null and void. Okay, and ain't nothing mystical about that. Okay, so 16. And they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. So wait, hold on a minute. This individual's been, the spiritual demon Satan has been brought down to the ground. Okay, he's been put into hell, which there's nothing underneath the ground other than the mechanics of how the world works. Okay, he's been brought down to the ground. Okay, and now what you have is now you have a situation that people can see him. Come on, man. I ain't never seen the spiritual demon say it, man. Most of you people are too low level. He's saying he's gonna send his minions out there to you, man. Okay, right? He had to say it only came out there for Yahweh Shai himself, man. So who has really seen this mystical prophecy being fulfilled? Right? Because that's because a lot of people living in the fantasy world, okay, where with those fairy tales that they put together at the Council of Nicaea, of which that was an Israelite, Constantine, okay, of which his empire got later taken down by the Ottoman Turks, which were Edomites, okay. Those were Edomites that took down what was it, Constantinople. Okay, which I might Lord's will get into that history at some point and study it, and then because that'll be a good thing for me, because I know from watching the elders pretty much I believe it's the elders that said it, they pretty much out of the Ottoman Turk Empire you had to where that's where you had was Ashkenaz, all of that. But I mean, I might be mixing stuff up. But I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do it. Okay, so it says here within the 14th verse. 16th verse, it says, and they that narrowly see thee shall look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the whole earth to tremble and did shake nations? Okay, and we're really understanding that now you understand it's not talking about hell, it's talking about the grave and how he's going to be brought down to the grave, so a lower state, and you understand it's a man. We understand who shook the nations. Isaiah 24th chapter. Okay, Isaiah 24 says that what the earth shall rule to and fro, it shall shake like a drunkard, etc., etc. Who made all of those instruments of war, right, and warfare like that that's going to shake nations and shake kingdoms? That was Esau. That was a man. The Edomites. Okay, starting first and foremost with the elite banking families, all the way on down. All right. So let's just carry on. And I think that was really it on that, in fact. Okay. So let's go to let me carry on with this 17th verse. It says that made the world as a wilderness, the destroyed city. Oh man, that's too much. Okay, that destroys the whole hell ideology, right? And it brings you into the understanding that this is talking about an individual, right? A group of people, right? An assembly of nations that make up one core tribe, which is the tribe of Esau. Okay, so it says here that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened out not the house of the prisoners. Now, was the spiritual demon Satan there, right? When the apostles out there were locked up in prison, and spiritually speaking, he was there, could have been there, but was he the one saying, you ain't gonna be able to come out of this prison? Okay, was the spirit? He's a spiritual demon. Is he the one that's locking up them? Is he the one that put it into within the legal system that if you commit certain offenses, that you're gonna be what? That you're gonna be locked up for X amount of years? No, that was Esau. Esau's the one that puts these decrees out there, and instead of putting these decrees out there, he's got it to where you got people out there serving time for 25 years, 35 years, completely unrighteous. Okay. But when you go into our laws and our customs, you find out that if a man do a certain, if a dude commit a certain crime, offense within the scriptures, well, he gets the appropriate punishment for whatever offense that is. Okay. In other words, if a man commit adultery, well, guess what? He gets the punishment that is attributed to adultery, which is to be put to death. Right? If he commits whatever it was, it wasn't no thing he was gonna go out there and serve just 1,000 cycles of the phantom zone, just be in prison perpetually. Going to show you that this is the same man that is talking about, and this is the people that is in rulership right now. Okay. Back within Isaiah the 14th chapter, and this is the 17th verse. So it says that made the world as a wilderness, okay, the destroyed cities thereof, and opened up the house of the prisoners. That's talking about Esau right there. Okay, the elite banking families, their way of doing things is hand in hand with what's being said here within the scriptures. Okay. That opened up the house of the prisoners, all the kings of the earth, even all of them lie in glory, everyone that is in his own house. But thou art out of the grave, like an abominable branch, as the remnant, right, of those that were slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones in the pit, as the carcass trodden down under feet. Okay, right? Though thou be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people and thy seed. Okay, so prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So what we was reading within the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter, you that kill it with the sword must be killed with the sword. You have a lot of children of Esau saying, look, we never committed this iniquity, but you've directly benefited from the doings of your forefathers, just like how we have directly benefited from the wickedness of our forefathers in being in this captivity. Our children are not born into the position of power. they're born into the captivity that we have created around us for going off on the Lord's such commandments of the Most High. So therefore, you're born into the prosperity of your fathers. Therefore, you shall catch the judgment of your fathers. Let me put that into perspective. The Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are in slavery, and their children are in slavery because their forefathers have gone off on the Lord's such commandments of the Most High, the covenant that He made with them. Right? And in so doing, anyone that's born off the stock of Israel right now is in that state of captivity. You're not born back in Israel, just rich, okay? With masses and masses of land. You're born into the captivity that your forefathers have put you into. The same thing is going to apply for Esau, man. The same thing is going to apply for Esau. He's going to be born into the, he's been born into the wealth that his forefathers have stole, okay, from these different nations. So therefore, when the judgment comes, it's going to be for the children, man. But see, the scripture talks about how the children shall complain of ungodly fathers. But guess what? You're still going to catch the judgment. Okay? So it says there, Isaiah 14:21, it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise and possess and fill the land and the face of the sea. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Okay? For I will raise up against them, saith the Lord, and cut off Babylon, the name, the remnant of son, nephew, saith the Lord, and I'll make it a possession for the bitter, right? The pools of water, and I'll sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. So that's dealing with the Most High eradicating all life out of America and replacing it with desert creatures, man. Because that's what's gonna come. Okay, you ain't gonna have it to where Esau's gonna rise up again. Okay, he's gonna rebel against the rulership of Judah, rulership of the men of the Lord, and he's just gonna rise up again, and he's now back in America, right, chilling, right, balling. Okay, bear with me 1 second. Okay, so we're gonna go back onto the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter now, where we started off, and start closing off some ties. Okay, so we're on time. So back within the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter, after a long tangent. Hopefully that all makes sense now. So Psalms 83:2 says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumble, they that hate thee have lifted up their heads. We've seen the pride, okay, that Esau has. We've seen the consequences of the pride that Esau has, which is ultimately to be wiped off the face of the earth. Okay, in fact, I didn't finish one key scripture. I forgot. I didn't finish Obadiah, I was about, because that kind of goes hand in hand with what was reading in Isaiah 14. Okay. Okay, so Obadiah, and this is, we left off at the 10th verse. So it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. We read about that within the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the days the strangers carried away captives in his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and they cast lots for upon Jerusalem. Even thou was one of them. So you had the Babylonians come down, okay, and they was trying to take down. They was taking down Jake during the time of Jeremiah, during the time of what's this guy, Nebuchadnezzar. And you can read about the prophecy of Babylon's destruction 200 years before it came to pass, right, within the prophecies that Isaiah had brought forth, okay, right, because when Isaiah was speaking about that, Babylon was a non-factor. In fact, when Isaiah was prophesying them things, you had it to where he was recording the things that was happening with the Assyrians. Babylon was like, look, where's Babylon? That goes to show you the power that the Most High bestowed upon his men, to where you can see right up until, hundreds of years after your existence, man. After you've been wiped off the face of the earth, you're dead now, you're out there chilling in the spiritual world. Now you're seeing Babylon rising up as a power and a nation, and now they're putting hell upon Jake, and they're putting a head up on Jake, and you got into where one of their so-called side partners, or one of the people that they have a strong GE with and ties with, is the Edomites. And when you check out the history of Esau, what you find out about Esau is this: whatever nation it was that was dominant, if it wasn't them, they would have had a family up in there, right? Where they're trying to breed off the people that's in power. You read about that with Haman, okay? And you see that with the Babylonians, where they're likened unto the daughter of the Chaldeans, man. The Edom, the daughter of Babylon, because they had mutual ties and mutual interests, okay? And when you had it to where the Babylonians were taking down Jacob, right? When they was taking down the kingdom that was left after, was it Josiah? And you had his a few of his sons. I believe one of his sons, Pharaoh Necho, took down to Egypt, and he had him imprisoned there for a while. And you also had it to where one of the sons was taken down into his eyes was taken out, and I believe he was taken down to Babylon. Okay, and then ultimately you had it to where one of the sons or his grandson that was left there. Okay, maybe even the name Jeconiah comes to mind. You had it to where he was maybe the last king, and then you had the complete overthrowing of Judah. Okay, even though you had it to where you had prophets out there talking about, look, Babylon ain't gonna come up here and destroy us, which is the same thing you got right now. You got it to where certain Jake said, like, look, there ain't no hell gonna come upon you, man. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be chilling. Okay, think about the long-term goal, man. Get your 401k up, get your tax returns or whatever. Okay. That's what you got. You got certain Jake saying out there, and that's nothing different. But see, when you had Jeremiah on the scene, what did he say? He says, the prophecies that were before me, they prophesied of old against many kingdoms and against many nations. And we're coming in off the same spirit and the same stock. Okay? And you can always tell what kind of prophet you got, because the dude we're talking about chilling, man. That's a false prophet. But when you got an individual saying, look, something bad's about to happen, that's a guy you gotta take heed to, man. And that's what the camp of GMS is saying. We're saying take heed, because now you got the modern day Babylon, which is gonna be coming down heavy pretty soon, man. Okay? You got the modern day Babylon right now. They're gonna be coming down heavy upon, especially Jake, and that's within the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. But not to sidetrack too much from the point I was saying, right? So the prominence when you had Nebuchadnezzar and his kingfolk take down Judah, okay? Because Israel had already gone to Assyria, and then they were already out there within the Americas. When you had them take down Judah, you had Esau joined in there, and they was for the enslavement of Jake. Okay, the scripture saying here they was like as one of them. When you had one certain Jake escape, they'll say, look, well, we're gonna get that Jake, we're gonna capture him, man, put him in his place. Okay, so it says here, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, on thy day that he became a stranger, neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. So they was rejoicing when Jake was destroyed. They were chilling, they was partying, man. Okay, they was relaxed. They were saying, because in their mind, they would have probably thought, look, wait, hold on a minute. You had the Assyrians take over the house of Israel. They're gone. Okay, now you're having the same thing happen to the house of Judah. So they're thinking in their mind, well, hold on a minute, that whole thing of the birthright is null and void. But that's the mentality of Esau. Okay, so they're rejoicing because they're thinking, okay, now all we gotta do is subvert these Babylonians, and now we're gonna take this birthright of the whole control of the entirety of the earth. So he was carnal. He wasn't thinking about that the Messiah is gonna have it to where they're gonna have Babylon for a period of time, right? And by way of the Media Persians coming in and taking down the Babylonians, okay, that's when Jake was gonna get back into the land of Israel. But ultimately Esau rising up out of that, he was gonna have it to where Israel was gonna be dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth, right? Set up the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire was gonna go down. You have America right now, and then you have Jake rising up again. Esau don't think like that. He thinks that as far as he's concerned at that time, the whole thing about the promise, that was null and void, and he can start chilling right now. Okay? But see, as we've seen within the scriptures, Esau is still going to be subordinate to Jake when the Messiah raises him up, and ultimately he's going to be wiped off of the face of the planet, right? Oh, hey, when we was reading the book of Isaiah, Okay, where we read within the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, how the Esau was going to be what? How he's going to be completely destroyed from the face of the earth. You telling me that back then that he didn't know about those scriptures? So when the Babylonians came and took down Judah, he was saying, look, man, that prophecy was just BS, man. Okay, so now you're going to where the prophets are rising up. Now they're coming back in the same fold, in the same breath and vibration. He's like, hold on a minute. Them prophecies that I said were null and void. Okay, them prophecies now are coming back to light. This is what these camps is talking about. Okay, they're saying they're gonna be the ones that are gonna take over. Okay, so he's gonna be very scared right now, as prophesied, as said within the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Okay, so it says back within the book of Obadiah, and this is the 13th verse. It says, "Thou shouldest not have entered into the gates of thy people, of my people, in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in their crossways to cut off from him them that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those that did escape and that remain in the day of their distress. Okay, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen." And that's the time we're living in right now. Okay, we're living in the time where the Most High's vengeance is near upon all of these heathen nations. Like as I said before, man, this group of people, they ain't got no army to come up and rise up against Esau and battle up against Esau and you know, gonna take down these Edomites. That's a dream. Okay, so when you're seeing General Yohanan and all of these individuals coming up here, right, as militants and militias, that's just stupid. Okay, because that gives Esau a reason to do what is spoken about within the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter here. We get that right quick, and I'll go back to Obadiah. Jeremiah 30 and 4. Jeremiah 30 and 4, it says, "And these are the words that the Lord spoke concerning Israel and concerning Judah.